We got shirts on sale. Express your Eeveelution and starter Pokemon love by buying an Eeveelution family shirt and Which One starter shirt. Link will be in the description below. Welcome back to my opinions on all the Pokemon typings. We finally did it. I can't believe that Ghost Pokemon finally won after the entire beginning. Like always though, I will be giving my opinions on all the Pokemon associated with the Ghost typing. That includes all the forms and megas. Ghost Pokemon have a really special place in my heart, so expect me to be a little bit more in depth on these ones. I don't really hate any Ghost Pokemon, so this should be a lot of fun. Alrighty though, you know what's going down? Let's hop into my opinions on all the Ghost type Pokemon. Starting off the list, we have Ghastly. I already talked about this line in the Poison type video last week, so my opinions are going to be pretty much the same. I think Ghastly is really cool and is the spookiest of its entire evolution line. It definitely showed me that in the anime episode, The Ghost of Maiden's Peak. That episode was so scary to me as a kid and is still really creepy all things considered. Haunter is also pretty cool. I really wish Ash would have captured Haunter in the OG series. Haunter was such a prankster and really seemed to enjoy its time with Ash. I mean, I guess it's cool that it helped Sabrina out, which led to Ash getting his Marsh badge, but I really would have preferred it to be his Pokemon. That way he could have evolved it in the Gengar. Nah, oh well. Speaking of which, Gengar has got to be one of my all-time favorite Ghost-type Pokemon in this series. I really love running this thing scarfed and competitive. Also, the whole Clefable theory with it is super interesting as well. Ending off the line, we have Gengar's Mega Evolution. It's so cool looking, especially in its shiny form. I wish they would change Gengar's regular shiny to match its Megas instead of that crappy, dull purple color. Bleh. Alolan Marowak has got to be one of the most creative regional variants there are. It definitely took us all by surprise that it went from being a ground to a fire and ghost type. The lore behind why it's a ghost and fire type is so interesting too. It's a combination of Alola's landscape being harsh and ground types, possessing the bones of its dead mother, which then turns its spirit into a burning vengeful flame. That's pretty intense and makes it so much cooler than its original form. Its design is also just so sleek and amazing looking. I just really love this thing. So I have quite a unique and interesting history with Misdreavus. I had one on my Pearl team when I played it for the first time so many years ago. It did super well. Chuck O'Connor's playthrough Pokemon Coliseum and how he had Misdreavus was also really hilarious. The not very effective meter, that LP was definitely one of my favorite Chuck O'Connor ones. I think Shedinja's concept is really cool. The fact that in order to get it, you have to have a Pokeball and a space available in your party to get what is essentially the shell of a molted cicada, which is really cool, and it's sad to say we haven't had too many concepts like that ever since. Hey, hopefully we'll get something interesting like this in Sword and Shield, who knows. Anyways, to wrap up Shedinja, I think it's really cool, although it can definitely be a Nuzlocke killer, so you have to watch out for this guy. I really like the typing for Sableye. Dark and Ghost is such an amazing combo. I also like the gems it has on its back in regards to the Ruby, Sapphire, and Emerald. Cool stuff. Fun Mega to run. I love Magic Bounce and Calm Mind. What an annoying Pokemon to face off against. Literally one of the cutest ghost Pokemon in existence. My stream on Twitch loves to say I felt this shiny even though I never got it. This is my favorite ghost Pokemon of all time. The fact Banette is a ghost doll that was thrown in the trash and neglected is just sad. What I love is how Banette gets its revenge. Read some of its Pokedex entries and you will see just that. I love the whole Annabelle theme around Banette and ghost dolls. They're just so creepy that for some odd apparent reason, it makes me drawn to love Banette. Bigger Banette and just as cute. I love how the claws come out from the zippers on its sleeves. It just makes Banette look cooler and terrifying. I thrive on cuteness and terror. Dusko is so simple yet one of the coolest ghost types there is. The lore behind it being based off of the Grim Reaper as well as looking like a Hitodama is just so awesome. It also has one of the cleanest shinies in the entire series, having a nice red body. Dusko is just so cool and cute, as the perfect representation of not only a ghost Pokemon, but it's the Pokemon in general. Now, while I give Dusko a lot of praise, I can't quite as much give it to this evolution. I have nothing against Dusclops, I just think it's very lackluster compared to Duskull. I certainly appreciate its lore and don't think it's a bad design by any means. I just like Duskull more. Simple as that. Hide your kids because Drifloon is on the loose. Legit though, this Pokemon is creepy and the dex entries disturb me quite a bit. I love using Drifbloom in competitive. Flare Boost is so dope to run with Drifbloom as Shadow Ball. As for what it's based on, I guess hot air balloons and blimps are pretty cool. I used one originally on my Pokemon Pearl team and it kicked butt. Miss Magius has always been one of my favorite ghost types, mainly because of the hat it wears. I'm a big Zelda fan and seeing that hat it has reminds me of Maples from the Oracle games. That's one of the main reasons why I picked it on my Pearl team. Like Sableye, it was both Ghost and Dark type, meaning it had no weaknesses until Generation 6, with the addition of the Fairy type coming out. It has some really awesome lore, being based on the Jibukudai, Buddhist New Year's Eve traditions, and the Chinese novel Water Margin. Definitely look into it for a more in-depth explanation. It's really cool. On top of that, it has a great design and a great shiny to go with it. However, the only not great thing is that it's nearly impossible to get in Diamond, Pearl, and Platinum. You can no longer go online, so you'll have to use a second DS and a game to meet up with another character 32 times in order to get it. Yeah, that's a lot of work, and while there are easier ways to get Spiritomb in the newer games, it's still sad that it's basically impossible to get in the original games it was introduced in. Pokemon Mystery Dungeon Explorers of Sky, Time, and Darkness makes me hate Dusknoir. This Pokemon is such a jerk in how it completely manipulated you. But past the hate for Mystery Dungeon though, I guess I love its origin though, being based off of a Cyclops and a Yamawara. I get into a lot of detail about Frostlass in my Ice type video, and the same reasoning applies here as well. I love how devious it is and the dex entries it has behind it. It lures men and freezes them. I love it so much. Due to me finding Rotom in the old chateau, I always used to think it was a legendary Pokemon. Then I found out it was not. Rotom is such a cool concept for a Pokemon, being able to take over all sorts of machinery using its ghost-like powers. There's also the theory that Cyrus and Rotom used to play together too. Rotom just has such a rich backstory, and the abilities it has just make it such a creative and fun Pokemon. One of the coolest legendary Pokemon ever created. It's Ghost and Dragon, and this looks like an incredible beast. I can't really describe in words just how cool this Pokemon looks. Everything is great about Giratina. Its Pokemon Satan has an incredible and spooky shiny, and has the best puzzle, being the Distortion World. Awesome. Pretty much what I said about regular Giratina. I do prefer this form though over the original. Yamask's origin is surprisingly deep. It's based on the Egyptian concept of the soul, which includes the idea that the shadow contains a part of the person which it represents, which leads into the death mask it holds, which is the face of the human it was before it died and it became a Pokemon. It's pretty intricate lore and is super awesome. In addition to that, it has a super amazing shiny that I was unaware of until making this video, so that's also super nice. Now, Cofagrigus' lore isn't as deep as Yamask's, but it's still pretty interesting. It's obviously based on a cursed sarcophagus, which they pretend to be to teach lessons to robbers. Its ability is really weird because it turns other Pokemon into mummies, which then also turn other Pokemon into mummies. But that doesn't really do anything except take away a Pokemon's ability. So they literally gave it a relatively useless ability for the sake of its lore, which is actually pretty cool. And as with Yamask, I discovered Cofagrigus has a pretty dope shiny, being silver with pink highlights. It's definitely a Pokemon I'll be looking forward to shiny hunting in the future. Ghost and Water typing is a cool combination. I want to get it and use it on a Gen 5 team. It's pretty underrated. Jellicent looks like a super cute pair of Pringles looking at us. Its dex entries are also quite fun to read. One of the best inanimate object Pokemon is right here. A candle is so clever, and if you hate it, you suck. Another really awesome inanimate Pokemon right here being Lampet. I love this old-fashioned light post concept they have going for it. Its shiny is also super awesome. Shout out to my boy Spectre. I love Chandelure and its origin off the Hitodama. It sucks the souls from things and I find that very cool. Golett reminds me of a Digimon for some odd apparent reason. It's not a bad thing at all, I just think Golett could be a Digimon more than a Pokemon. I remember when I found out about Golurk, like, it's a freaking flying giant clay bot. There's some really interesting lore behind Golurk too, and how they were ancient robots in the desert ruins. Pokemon has some killer lore, like I mentioned earlier. It's a possessed ghost sword. This is pretty cool. Doughblade literally reminds me of a cookie cutter. I also love Snickerdoodle cookies, so if we could cook that, it'd be great. Aegislash is called the Royal Sword Pokemon. If this majestic Pokemon does not play a huge role in Pokemon Sword and Shield, I'm gonna be pissed. Aw, what a cute little Pokemon who's possessed by the spirits of children who have died in the forest. I love Trevenant. It traps people in the forest who try to harm it. So if you're a foresty person trying to cut down the forest, I'd watch out. Here's my favorite of the Kalos grass ghosts being Pumpkaboo. I love this cute little pumpkin so much. Its shiny reminds me so much of Blair from Soul Eater with a pumpkin and cat aesthetic. Oh, and of course, it's purple, so you know I'm biased because of that. I legit have like 4 of these on my Pokemon Y copy. However, they have all stayed Pumpkaboo because I like it more than Gourgeist. I have nothing against Gourgeist at all, I just like Pumpkaboo more. Simple as that. Like I said in the Psychic video, I don't really know a whole lot about this Pokemon aside from the fact it really likes donuts in its movie. I guess it's cool, so I don't really have anything bad to say about it. Decidueye is my favorite Alolan starter. The whole entire origin behind Decidueye is so cool. An owl with a bow and arrow is one of the best heroes we could have asked for. Senzu Oricorio is my favorite form. I love the Japanese fans it carries and the cute dance it does. I love Japan. I'm a weeb. Sandygast is just plain adorable. It's just a little pile of haunted sand. And does it have a cool shiny? Yes. Yes, it does. It's based off of the black sand that can be found in Hawaii, and it looks so sick and awesome. Also, its shovel changes color too. Everything about this Pokemon is just adorable and incredible. Enough said. I don't care what anyone has to say about Palossand, it's one of the most creative Pokemon in the series, without question. It's a haunted sandcastle. How could you not love that concept? How about its English and Japanese names both being puns? Palossand being that it's a pile of sand, or Shidodesuna, which would basically translate to, that's a castle, huh? It's literally like they're making fun of the people that'll dismiss the Pokemon for being based on an object. And I love it. Oh, and the black sand shiny carried over, so it's even more dope. As I said in my Fairy Opinions video, Mimikyu is one of my favorite ghost types. Its origin is super sad. People avoided it since as its real form can legit kill you. All Mimikyu wants to do is be friends with people and other Pokemon, so it created a shroud based on Pikachu, what it deemed to be the most loved Pokemon. That just breaks my heart in half, and I just have to say that I'll be friends with you, Mimikyu. Just try not to kill me, okay? I really think Delmice is underrated, although I feel that's because it's so hard to get in the Gen 7 games. It's just really cool how you can see the creepy face in the seaweed, really showing off its ghost type. Also, it has that amazing Steelworker ability, essentially giving it a third type without giving it the added weaknesses. You know what? Suicune used to be my favorite legendary, but you know what? My favorite legendary Pokemon now is Lunala. I love Pokemon Sun and Moon. I love the entire aspect of a vampire bat in the form of a moon. When I saw the moon cover for the first time, I knew I needed a Lunala, and from now on, Lunala is my favorite legendary. Enough said. Definitely my favorite of the Dawn and Dusk forms. Lunala in this form is majestic. I can't really explain beyond this. Marshadow is one of the dopest ghost Pokemon in Mythicals in general. I did a video explaining its origin, so definitely check that out once you're done with this video. Fighting Ghost is such a cool and powerful type combination. Its design is really nice regularly, but becomes so much nicer when it becomes Zenith Marshadow. I kinda wish it would just stay lit up like that the entire battle though. Its Z move, the Soul Stealing 7 Star Strike, is one of the dopest moves in the entire game, hands down. Oh, and the icing on top, of course, has to be that shiny Zenith Marshadow is purple instead of green. There's just so much to love and appreciate about this Pokemon that if I didn't end this entry right now, I could easily make an opinion video just talking about Marshadow. And finally, we have the last of the Ultra Beast being Blacephalon. It's definitely pretty morbid and ghostly considering it literally takes its head off and makes it explode to attack. Its Japanese name literally means head goes boom. It's such a bizarre and wacky Pokemon, but I gotta tell you, I love it. Well, that wraps up my opinions on all the Ghost-type Pokemon. As you guys could see, there wasn't any real hate on any of these Pokemon. Ghost Pokemon just have this spooky and gore to them that just make them so appealing to me. What are your favorite Ghost-type Pokemon though? Let me know in the comments below, as well as what typing you guys would like to see next. Whatever typing gets the most upvotes in the comments will be the next typing we do. If you enjoyed the video, why not leave a like and subscribe to my channel with notifications on, that way you never miss an upload. If you want to support me further, consider following my Twitch where I stream a lot of Pokemon content and all kinds of other content like Nintendo, Borderlands, and much more. Want to support me further and gain cool perks? Check out my Patreon. Fly Jubilee, Daniel Leone, Lady Crimson, Pal491, The Lazy Leo, Matthew Young, Austin Lego, and Jarrett Weez Austin. I want to thank them personally for going above and beyond. It means the world to me. I think I'm gonna wrap this up though. I'm Mr. Gumbrand and I will see you in the future for more awesome Pokemon content.